So I was laughing a bit to myself because it turns out every single week that does end up passing here in Forza Horizon 5 that your money method or even my money method is slowly going away. Now you might be wondering exactly what I mean by that, and you guys probably saw the title. And yeah, I'm serious, rip to part of my money method, and I do want to explain why that is here in the backstage, or at least what won the backstage, which is going to be the Toyota 4Runner here. Now, the funny part about this, though, is I wouldn't doubt if people are going to be like, Block, what are you talking about, dude? So here's the thing, guys. A lot of people do know I do have a lot of money in the game. I'm also going to have a lot of cars as well. Let me head over to my vehicle collection. I showed this 814 vehicles at the moment. Funny part is with the current festival that is going on, I am actually missing 4 of these cars. They don't have autumn, winter, or spring, and I was kind of waiting to see if they would come back. I also do not have the Mercedes. Can I use a pass on them? Yes. Am I going to? Probably not, only because you really can't sell those cars for that much anyway, so I'm like, alright, cool. Anyway, though, if a lot of people might have been wondering exactly how I was making a lot of money and stuff being a newer player, and, well, the funny part is, guys, I'm gonna say it, the 4Runner was actually a big part of that. And the reason for that is this truck was going to come up on the auction for, let's say, anywhere from like 138K to around something like maybe 10 to 11 million is when I would sell it, but this truck would sell for around $20 million. And I would almost guess right now people are going to be like, well, Blocked, how many of those trucks did you actually buy and sell? And to be honest, guys, I kind of lost count after 20 of them. Yes, if you are wondering, I did end up pretty much buying and flipping around like 23 or something like that 4Runners. I have actually bought and flipped, I think, around about almost 50 cars in the game as well. I have made well over $500 million buying cars and flipping them and stuff, so that is also going to be a reason why I have $180 million. And part of the reason why I was like, rip to my money method, because the funny part is, the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro only sells for $8.1 million. And in fact, if you guys head over to the auction house right now, there is not going to be any of these available at all either, which is honestly pretty interesting. But then again, people aren't going to be going, oh, I'm going to sell all my 4Runners and make the money from it. To be honest, I'm like, I'm going to get like 6.5 million, 7 million. Let me just sell it. So I did end up using a pass on it to make an easy $7 million. I figured, why not? Am I right? You know what I'm saying? Might as well make $8 million kind of free there. But what's interesting, though, is we all do know this is going to happen to pretty much any of the vehicles you like to buy and sell or even flip, because that is going to be a great way to make money. Now, the thing is, I do want to mention here, I have talked about this in different videos as well with the entire backstage. You could still easily make money in the backstage, guys, by buying certain vehicles, because some of them are still going to sell for over $10 million. So if you already own one, or maybe you're looking for another one, you can easily buy one of those cars, sometimes get them cheaper and stuff like that. But one thing I found very interesting, though, is the 911 GT3 RS, I believe, was around $20 million after it came out, AK being in the lovely backstage here. And I think it was around 2 days or so before I started to see this car drop a bit. And that is probably going to be the main thing. Like, for example, guys, I'm not going to sell it because that would be unfortunate. But if we head into here, though, and go over to this, let me go over to Porsche, and I will show this here. Porsche, let's go over to the 911 GT3 RS. Let's hope I can find it quickly and not, there we go. Let's hit confirm. Let's see if there's any. So you guys will see right here, this thing is still selling for $20 million, but a lot of people are probably not even going to bother trying to buy this thing for $20 million, because you can obviously get in the backstage and you can also start a bid. This one is going to end soon. It's going to be at $9 million, so you can easily get them much cheaper, and you're also going to find them a lot cheaper than that. So someone who's going to put this car up now and go, okay, I'm going to make myself $20 million, I'll be like, ha! Probably not, bro. Okay, you probably won't make $20 million on that vehicle unless somebody has a ton of money. You are most likely only going to make maybe $9 to $10 million from a lot of the vehicles now, which is still great. And that's if someone doesn't even want to buy that car, because if they don't, if they see the higher price, they might end up bidding on cars that are like $1 million or so. And the funny part is, I did end up selling my 911 GT3 RS basically the second day, which I believe it was Friday after it did end up coming out. And I did end up making myself around $11 million on that car in the second day. I pretty much put it for 20, had the bid thing on 11, then pretty much went and did whatever. The difference is, though, with the 4Runner, guys, that truck was selling for $20 million with no issues at all, okay? It was literally doing it constantly. Let's say if you did end up getting a 4Runner, guys, the amount, I think one night, I know people might want to attack me on this again, I bought and flipped a lot of cars. I have spent a crazy amount of time in the auction house so I can have a ton of money and buy the cars I want, right? But in one night, I think I got around 4 or 5 4Runners in one single night. I got like 3 within like 40 minutes of them popping up. I most likely did end up stealing those from people, so I do apologize for that. Some were going to range from 138K, 500, 750. Some were even like 5 or 6 million. But hey, a profit is a profit. If you do end up buying a car for 10 million, that vehicle still sells for 20. You are still making like 7 or 8 million dollars on it, right? So I figured, why not? With that being said, though, if you did end up doing that, if you were like me grabbing some of these vehicles, not necessarily the 4Runner, but the 911 GT3, currently right now in the backstage, by the way, if you guys wanted to head over to the voting, what is available? One of the most sought after cars in the entire game, which also sells for 20 million, the BMW M5 CS. This is also why I did want to talk about this here in a quick video. Now, today is obviously Saturday. This is going to end up probably most likely winning on Thursday. If I had to put money somewhere, I would say the BMW is going to win, bro. Like, you guys know what I'm saying? I would be completely shocked if the M5 doesn't win that. Kind of like the Porsche, you know what I'm saying? The Porsche obviously did end up winning that by a landslide, so I would expect the BMW to do it as well. But let me head over to the M5. I believe it's the 22 right here. Let's go over to any. As you guys will see, there is none of these available right now. This is a very hard car to get, and it can easily sell for $20 million. I did manage to buy and flip, I think it was like 4 or 5 of these, something like that. Some of them were going to be like 10 million. A few other ones were a bit cheaper. But I'm going to guess and say right now that the BMW is most likely going to win that. And when it does, make sure you guys sell that car in the first day. This is something I did want to mention here. I'm probably going to do the same thing. Head over, buy or use one of your backstage passes, get the BMW, get rid of it within that first day, because after that, it's most likely going to be very hard to sell, and a lot of people probably won't even bother. And in fact, what's funny is the BMW is so sought after, you might be able to even make $20 million off that vehicle, man, which is honestly pretty insane. But that was one of the reasons why I did want to talk about this in a video, because I legit laughed at myself, bro. I did see that the 4Runner won. The first thing I went is, oh man, rest in peace to my money method, because I have bought and sold so many of those. Is there other vehicles you can do the same thing with? 100%. We have the Pro Stock. We're also going to have other cars that do sell for $20 million as well, like the Lamborghini Countach. Although you did not hear that from me, just putting that out there. That car can sell for around 1.3 million. I actually got mine for 1 million. I did end up getting one other one for around $2 million and sold that for 20 million. So there is still going to be some other vehicles you guys can easily go in there and probably get and at least sell for around $20 million. Is it always going to happen? Well, to be honest, finding a lot of these cars is going to be fairly difficult. And being able to really sell them at max price is also going to be pretty hard, man. Now, I am going to give you guys a tip here and also some vehicles that you did not hear from me if you are looking to buy and flip more vehicles, because we're obviously 4 months into the game being on PlayStation. So some of the cars are probably not going to sell for as much. For example, guys, right now, the Lunganda was actually also selling for $20 million as well. From what I did end up seeing back then, that car was going to be very rare. But if we head over to auction, I will go over to Aston Martin, because I do have one of these cars. I got one for like 800,000 or something. Let's head over here, an auction vehicle. Obviously, I'm not going to, but you guys are going to see right now, this car now sells for around 10 million. So let's say you maybe wanted to get one of those cars, or maybe you want to sell it and try to make some money. You know what? Let me head over to Aston Martin. Let's go over to the Laganda here and see if there's any available. As you guys will see right now, there is a good amount available. So if you wanted to, you could put the car up for like $6 million or something, and you would most likely be able to sell that. Now, I know I did talk about this before, but people are probably going to be wondering how you could make more money or vehicles to look out for. So I'm going to say this. You didn't hear this from me about what I'm about to say, okay? A few of the vehicles I did end up buying and selling, guys, and flipping. Now, again, a lot of this is fully RNG based on the vehicles showing up, or, you know, modders and stuff probably putting the vehicles up. But a few of them, though, are going to be the Pro Stock Camaro and also the Z06. You can find this car very cheap and sell it. Unfortunately, right now, there is nothing. One of the other cars that is unfortunately did not win the auction house, or at least the backstage, and basically is the auction house for that matter, is going to be the Bentley as well. This is going to specifically be the Flying Spur. I love this thing. I've also bought and flipped probably about 5 or 6 of these as well, so keep an eye out for those. One of the other cars I would recommend keeping an eye out for, now again, you did not hear this from me, and people might actually get a bit mad of people trying to buy and flip these cars, but hey, trying to help people out as much as I can. I understand the frustration with some of this, but another vehicle you can also buy and flip is going to be the new Z Nismo here. Now, there's not going to be anything available, which should probably tell you something. And yes, the car can sell for $20 million, so if you are looking to make money on this, guys, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but only have this up to $11 million. That's what I always did. This might sound dumb, but if you do end up finding one of these vehicles that do end up popping up in the auction house for $11 million and it sells for 20, you are always going to make 6 to 7 million on the vehicle. You see what I'm saying? So you always make money from it no matter what. You can also head into Porsche here and look for other vehicles as well, like the lovely Rally Edition also sells for around 16 million. But again, that car is going to be fairly rare. If you manage to find one, it is probably going to be fairly difficult. There's obviously nothing right now. Again, it is going to be based on RNG. Another one you can also do is heading over to Hyundai here. A few of these cars do sell for 20 million. One of those is going to be the i30N. The Kona is also expensive. And on top of that, the Ioniq 5 is going to be expensive as well. Now, again, guys, keeping an eye out on these vehicles, I'd normally jump around and look. And the other truck that I did manage to probably sell, I think maybe 5 or 6 of these as well, is going to be the DeBerti C10 Slayer here. This one is probably going to make people go a bit crazy, but this thing will easily sell for 20 million. And they pop up in the auction house fairly decently, or at least more often than I really thought they would have. But the last thing I do want to mention here is I do understand that a lot of these cars are eventually going to show up in the auction house. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is take advantage of the money method that's going to be available to you by being able to buy some of these cars for cheaper and being able to flip them. Now, I'm not saying you can always do it because a lot of it is RNG. I mean, I spend hours in the auction house and see nothing. Other times I'm get on or something, or I said I'm get on. I'm losing it. But I would get on and most likely see like 3 or 4 4Runners within like 40 minutes. Then boom, I wouldn't see another one for like 2 or 3 days, man. So it really does depend. Kind of right moment, right time type of thing there. But the reason why I did want to talk about this in a video, though, is it is legit going to be rest in peace to the money that you can make from it, because every single week some of the rarest cars are going to show up in the backstage pass, and guess what? Those vehicles that you might be buying and flipping or trying to make money from, they are eventually going to be a dime a dozen, always popping up in the auction house, and it is going to be almost nearly impossible to make money from them. One of which is now going to be the 4Runner, because people who have one of them are probably not going to sell one of those trucks for $8 million now compared to 20, where they could easily make some money from them. Do let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below, guys. Again, keeping eye outs on some of these vehicles. Do keep a very close eye on that M5. If that thing does win, get online on this game on Thursday and sell yours before the price drops, or there is going to be so many in the entire auction house that they're not even going to be that special anymore, or in the fact of being able to really make money or even sell them. If you guys have any questions, do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I have honestly spent way too much time in the auction house, and I feel like I can give you tips and tricks and some other things I did learn about this if you are wondering.